Hello, Munya here, and welcome back to the Brits Top Table podcast with Mastercard. The podcast where Sideman and I crash the tables of the rich and famous and demand to know their best showbiz stories whilst threatening them with a napkin.
Speak for yourself, Munya. But yes, we will indeed be speaking to the biggest names in music and showbiz about the Brits. And we're sat here the day after an amazing Brits show.
Before we get into today's guests, we thought we'd run you through some of the most epic moments in case you missed it, in case the Wi-Fi was playing up for whatever reason. So, in case you missed the Brits, which, if you did, sorry, you missed out on a lot because 4,000 people were in attendance, the biggest live event we've had since the UK went into lockdown. Coldplay performed on the Thames. Very, very brave, especially as they had to swim back because the show had already started, so it was up to them then. And Dua Lipa performed on the Tube and also called for an NHS pay rise.
Yeah, I love that. And
Boris could never.
It was Olivia Rodrigo's first ever live performance of her hit single Driver's License, and that was quite something. I really enjoyed the set design for that as well. Elton John and Ali from Years and Years performed. Rag and Bone Man performing with Pink and NHS Lewisham and Greenwich choirs. Like, it was so good to see those choirs showing their talent and stuff like that, and just knowing that the crowd was made primarily of key workers. I think that was just beautiful.
Yeah, 100%. It was very special seeing like all the people who've kind of kept us going through lockdown. So that was incredible. In addition to Little Mix breaking history as the first females in 41 years of the Brits to win British group category.
Long time.
And then, of course, Taylor Swift made it to England on what I assume was a Ryanair flight. First ever female at 31 years old, youngest person ever to win the global icon. So tons, and Clara's now laughing 10 minutes after I told that joke. So that just tells you that's just a little taster of what's to come.
I just can't imagine Taylor Swift isolating. I just can't imagine that. Where does Taylor Swift isolate? Like, do they set up a castle? Just an interim castle or something?
Well, listen, if Premier Inn's good enough for Lenny Henry, I'm sure Taylor wouldn't have any qualms. But yes, let's get on to today's guests.
Yes. So yeah, pretty much it was the biggest night in British history, and here to discuss it some more with us is an 8-time Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter and producer who at 23 is already one of the greatest artists of his time, producing hits for himself and his little sis who won a Brit Award last night. It's FINNEAS!
Yes!
Hi guys.
And his latest collaboration partner is also with us. She's performed at Coachella, opened for Lauv and Lewis Capaldi, helped write a hit of Demi Lovato, and has just finished her brand new album. Hello, Ashe!
Yes. Ashe, can you hear us? Okay, and finally, joining us is a Radio 1 DJ and presenter who smashed the ITV2 coverage of the Brits yesterday and has also broken Beyonce's record for the most outfit changes at a concert. It's Clara Amfo.
Hey, Clara, how are you?
Hello, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. We're doing this conversation 2021 style. Who's to say what's going to happen with everyone's internet connections? But we're in the pocket. We're doing it.
So, FINNEAS, Ashe, Clara, what was your experience of the Brits? Clara, obviously you were there in the heat of the moment.
I was.
Ashe and FINNEAS, did you manage to catch some of the things that went on last night?
Yeah, I watched on YouTube live. I came on like maybe a quarter of the way in, and I saw Harry win the single, which was amazing, and I'm such a fan. And then Taylor's speech, which was nuts and inspiring. And yeah, I caught like really important moments for me that I wanted to see.
It's amazing that you managed to be fashionably late to a virtual ceremony. That's when you know you're showbiz.
Totally. Well, I wasn't there.
FINNEAS, how about yourself?
I was on set for a lot of it, but I was also involved in the secret presenting of Billie's award, which was a fun little process. I've watched some performances retroactively, and they're amazing. I've always felt that way about the Brits. I remember, you can tell me which year this was from, but I remember the 1975 doing Sincerity is Scary on like the treadmill a couple years ago. That was like a performance that I found super, super, super inspiring.
That was sick.
Yeah, I loved that. And so I've made sure to like tune into them regularly since then. And so I'm always very inspired by the production value of everything.
The set design is absolutely amazing. Yeah. And Coldplay's performance on the Thames, that was insane. Like, I'm looking at those holographs and I'm saying, how are they doing that? Where is the projector? Like, I still look at things in a very rudimental way. So even when I'm looking at the set designs on stage, I'm like, where are all these lights plugged in? Do they have the hugest, what do you call them again? The extension cord of all time? Like, I'm literally just looking in complete and utter awe at what I'm seeing before me.
That is a great question because, you know, extension leads in the UK for us commoners only have 6 plugs.
Yeah?
So the ones that have the Brits, it's like when you get to a certain level of fame, do your extension cords have more plug sockets in?
Yes,
That's one of life's great
Phineas, speak to
questions.
this. Do you have an extension cord with more than 6 sockets?
Phineas has got 60.
I have a lot of sockets. It's a plug.
Do you have a room called extension cord?
I don't have a room, but I have a lot of. I have to plug in so much stupid stuff to record music. So I needed a lot of extension cord sockets. Yeah.
Extension cords into extension cord, the inception of it all, it just boggles the brain.
Yeah.
Phineas, what we saw here in the UK was when BIllie won her award, we saw like an acceptance speech. We didn't get to see any of the award being presented.
Yeah.
This was obviously for International Female Solo Artist, for anyone who doesn't know. If you were the one who had to give her the award, at this point, is it even a surprise anymore? Like, is it very casual or do you still try and sort of build it up?
Yeah, we actually, to my mother's credit, we devised a whole scheme that we were like, hey, BIllie, we're going to go downstairs. You're going to present someone else with an award. And we took her downstairs with the award. And then when they turned the camera on, my mom was like, it's you. It was really, really sweet. Yeah.
That's so cute.
I thought that was a sweet idea to like surprise her.
Love that.
Your
That's
mom
really
is the
nice. That's going to give you so many brother points as
Yeah,
well.
I liked that.
They're hard to come by.
Did she cry?
Did I cry or did she cry?
No, did she cry?
No.
You know
They
what
cried.
annoys me, yeah? I hate when I set up moments for people and they don't give me the tear that I needed. Like, it feels like, what could I have done more? There's got to be something else I could have done to drag the emotional levity
Yeah,
necessary.
making somebody cry feels really good.
Yeah, when you make them cry for the right reason.
I think it feels good always.
You're like,
Phineas chose violence. We woke him up at 7 a.m. and this is what we're getting. Evil Phineas.
Tears.
Speaking of kind of watching remotely, Clara, we made like a light joke about how many outfit changes you did. The nails even were custom built.
Wow.
When Phineas and Ashe, did you what? Did you have to dress? Did you choose to dress up? Did you wash it in your PJs? How big did you go with the viewing? I mean, you were on set, Phineas, so you're probably dressed as a. I don't know what film it was for. I'm assuming it's one of the Fast and Furious films. But Ashe, what did you were you cozy or were you tuxedoed up?
I probably had pajama bottoms on and like a cute top on the top. So if I had to be on video, that's what you would see. But I had like a little like impromptu listening watch party. So a bunch of fans, like we all watched the Brits together and we're like, when Harry won, we were like,
amazing.
That's amazing.
and yeah, it was pretty cute. It was very last minute. I was like, okay, we're doing this. And I like posted it on Twitter. And then there was like 1,200 of us just like watching the Brits together, which was really cute. But it was on
amazing.
camera, so I didn't have to be hot.
Harry's fan base is absolutely insane. Like, literally, you have to call him breathtaking because I watched him take girls' breaths away yesterday as they scream to an inaudible, only Doug can hear them volume. Like, it was absolutely crazy.
Phineas and Ashe, when we watch the Grammys here in England, it's always like, whoa, like this is crazy. We're seeing everyone we've ever seen on TV and on YouTube, obviously, because, America's so huge. With Britain, when you're watching like a British award show, are there any things that you notice that you see as quirky or things that are very different? Because we've been watching it for years, and so to us it's normal.
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like the humor overall is just a little bit drier in general. That's just like with anything British. So like I watch the Grammys and you're like, Americans are just like not that funny. And so I'm just like watching the Brits.
I must be American
I was
then.
just like cracking up.
Ash shows violence against her own.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, it's true.
Phineas is rubbing off on Ashe.
Betray them for us.
It's true. Watching the Brits, it was there's so much funnier. So maybe that.
Yeah, Jack did a great job of hosting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people realise how difficult it is to host a show of that magnitude. And Jack's humour and timing for me were just perfect last night. So
Yes.
on point. We love the sea shanty moment.
Yes, it was really good. Especially when you've got people literally, not figuratively, looking down on you. Because the way that it's set up, you're literally in the middle of the floor and there's so much people in the stands above you, literally just looking down on what you're doing, that it's hard to get a perception perception of the audience to draw from it, because it's like he comes from a stand-up background, and when you do stand-up, it's more you're higher and then the crowd is lower, but this is a complete flip on its head, and I just think he does a great job of balancing all that.
Yeah, man, I don't know where he gets the courage from, but he smashed it.
Absolutely.
Everyone, let's talk about the winners. There were a few surprises and that we expected. So we've got people like Arlo Parks, Little Mix, Jay Huss, BIllie Eilish, of course, Dua Lipa, The Weeknd, Harry Styles, Griff, who we had on the show, Taylor Swift, Dua Lipa again. In terms of your experiences with any of the names on the list, are there any there that you kind of, when you heard their name get called for the award, you felt the kind of the butterflies they would be feeling because of your connection to them or having worked with them? Clara, you may have interviewed them. Who were you most pleased for on the night?
I was absolutely delighted for Arlo Parks and for Dua and for Little Mix. I think Little Mix, what they said was so on point with their speech.
Yes.
You know, the music industry is ran by a lot of, you know, white men of a particular age. Who make decisions for people. Look, the human experience, of course, like, look, we're all born on this planet, but unfortunately we're not all treated equally, and there's a disproportionate, you know, type of person that is in charge in the industry, you know, and only certain people are given voices, and I think people have probably counted them out and looked down on them because they are a quote-unquote girl band, when in fact, you know, they are three incredible vocalists, they are brilliant songwriters, they are brilliant businesswomen, and they really use their voices in a really purposeful way that I think people are conditioned to not expect out of a quote-unquote girl band. And I loved the moment that they took when they made their speech, and they work their arse off. I think we've got this perception that, you know, being a group means that you have to be this polymath that plays 50 instruments, or it's not real unless there's a guitar involved. And I think what they stand for, just I thought they were just fab. And again, Dua, her evolution as an artist, I've seen her from the start, you know, when she was quite shy and a bit unsure, and she's become like this powerhouse. And again, Arlo, an incredible lyricist, beautiful voice, and she really has broken through. So to give her that award, like, she really, really deserved it. And I think she just got an everlasting talent.
I just want to know which line she was on. Was she on the Bakerloo? Was she on the Northern line? These are the things that I end up thinking about. What tube was she on? But also, just back to your Little Mix point, it was so amazing to me to hear them shout out Girls Aloud and Sugar Babes. I don't know why, but it just done something for me for them to make that call back.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're saying, okay, we've won in this moment, but it's not because those women shouldn't have won back then. It's just because society has just caught up to what things should look like. And not caught up, let me not say caught up, is trying to catch up to what it should look like. And I think to put it in that way and perspective was so amazing of them to do.
It felt like a really special moment in the arena, and everyone was just all ears and everyone was resonating with the words. So yeah, that was actually, I can completely relate to that feeling. How about you two? So Finneas and Ashe obviously may not have seen all of the acceptance speeches, but any previous experience with any of the artists where you thought, go on? Yes,
Finneas, do you have any previous experience with any of the winners?
Well, I love Arlo just as a fan of hers, and I think like she's at a place in her career where she's gone through a lot of firsts, and I think like the first time you experience anything, it's the most magical and shocking, and I just think she's very deserving. I think her music is amazing. I love her voice. I love the songs she writes. So that's really cool. And yeah, I agree, Clara. I remember seeing Dua Lipa play a venue called Bardo in LA back in 2016. She played a show called School Night, and it was, I remember that is a showcase for like artists at the very beginning of their careers.
You saw Dua at School Night?
Yeah, I saw Dua at School Night, and I remember seeing her and thinking, "Oh, this is really good. Like this is crazy good." And then within, you know, the next 12 months, she had new rules and was sort of taking over the world already. Yeah, so that's always exciting for me. But yeah, on a personal note, I'm just a humongous fan of Arlo.
Amazing. I think she's going to be chuffed.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I feel like Arlo is getting like the recognition that you hope new artists get. I think like being a newer artist sort of on the scene who's like just starting to sort of get some amount of validation. I think watching Arlo rise and doing it so absolutely gracefully and so like true and honest to herself. Like I can tell that she is like, she's not listening to what other people like want her to do. She's just doing what she values. And so I just like, I look up to her so much. I think it's so powerful. And I think that her being validated in like, hey, what you're doing is like perfect. Just keep doing you. We love that. And then I was going to say Haim too.
Oh, of course. International group.
Their win.
Yes.
It's like my eyes were welling up. I know Arlo better and we've talked. I don't know Haim closely yet. I'm going to sneak my way into their girl band because I love them. But I feel like they are just so deserving and they've been really underestimated in the music industry for a really long time. Like people thinking like, oh, they're not playing their guitar solos. Like they're not actually playing in the band. And I just think people are so rude. And for them to be like, no, we're winners. And I'm like, yeah. So the girls, I'm so proud of the girls.
8 out of the 11 categories were won by, either solo or group female artists. It was a brilliant, brilliant year for
We
the
just
Brits.
need the festivals to follow that trend now.
Yeah.
With their lineups. Also, Clara,
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to ask as well, did you and Maya play rock, paper, scissors to decide who gets to hold the award? Who got to hold the Brits? And when you held it, what sense of power did you feel? Did you feel like telling people, don't come into my dressing room without my permission? Did it give you any sense of entitlement at all? You can be honest, this is a safe space.
To hold a Brit.
Yeah.
Can I give you the real tea? We didn't get to hold the BRITs Award that Arlo received because the social distancing rules are so strict. I got to hold the envelope and I gave it to Arlo as a souvenir because I knew she'd want to keep it. So the minute, I was like, here, at a distance, take the envelope. But going back to what you said, Ash, and what you said, Phineas, like she deserves it so much, and you want to be able to like hold on to those moments like forever. And to someone that might just be an envelope, but that's her win. So sorry, there's no tea there with the holding power.
Wait,
speaking
of the
envelope, but it's with Arlo Parks.
What about the envelopes with Olivia Rodrigo? What were the like secret envelopes that were being left on the tables?
She wrote notes for everyone.
Like, I love you. Like, what was the... do we know what the note said? I'm so curious.
We do. Whilst we're speaking, I'll find it. But yeah, apparently she left personalised messages on notes on tables and on envelopes and stuff. That's something I heard as well.
I'd love to see what she's left for Heady One. Like, that would be beautiful to see that message.
That's such like a Taylor Swift move, That's such a Taylor, like, I am like proper. Really appreciating
I found out
everyone.
when I saw Taylor, I'm not going to lie.
Well, actually, you mentioned that. There was a really special moment backstage. So I had two friends working backstage at the Brits who were kind of like telling us the secrets and the tea for the podcast. And they said that somebody we had on the show very early on, so she was the Breakthrough Rising Star, Griff. So she is a huge Taylor Swift fan. She bought like a Taylor Swift guitar, and they apparently arranged for her to meet Taylor backstage. And it was one of those tearjerker moments. It was one of those kind of get through a whole box of Kleenex moments.
Wow.
So I like to think we played some part in uncovering her Taylor Swift
Griff
fandom,
is another.
And then it happened on the night.
That's another one. I was blown away by her performance and her
performance was amazing.
Her speech too. I was like, you are a grown 50-year-old woman in a tiny body.
Right?
Like the maturity and the professionalism.
She gave us a word.
Guys, we're going to move things on now. We're going to play a very quick game. Ash and Phineas, of course, we want you to be here with us at the Brits next year. However, to do that, I'm afraid you're going to pass a Britizenship test.
Yes.
Now, Clara will be on hand to help.
Yes.
If at all half an hour behind. We're going to ask you a series of questions. You both need to answer correctly in order to be able to come to any future Brit Awards events. No. Here we go. You can work as a team. You can call on Clara
I'm
for
so
help.
bad at games. It's like a weakness.
As Munya said, you have usually it would be ask a friend, but we're going to switch it to ask a bruv.
Call a Clara, yeah.
Yeah, call a Clara. That's a good one. Call a Clara.
Yeah.
So you have your call a Clara
I'm
card.
here for you guys.
I feel like Phineas is really smart.
It's so funny because I feel like
win.
Clara's not going to know any of this either.
Okay, so Phineas and Ash. Question number 1. The first King of England made a law that everyone had to what by 8 p.m.? Everyone had to what by 8 p.m.?
Why would I know this? Why would I ever know this?
I'm sorry, this is just what it takes to get into the country.
So I've got a question, because I don't know this either, but I'm assuming this amongst all of you Brits, I bet this is like common knowledge. I bet you're like...
This is what we talk about all the time.
Like
Hey, do you remember the first king of England?
That's true,
Yeah.
yes.
He was such a jerk.
So, I'm sorry, I don't know. It's someone else's news.
Does it have to do with booze? Can I get
Clara.
a clue?
What do some people do at 8 p.m. anyway?
Have sex? I don't know.
Whoa.
No, it wasn't quite that.
I didn't know that was time
I don't know.
sensitive.
I was trying to think of something weird that the king would talk about.
Okay, so
You have an interesting impression of things.
the correct answer was there used to be an 8 p.m. curfew where the king went, right, I'm tired now. Everyone in England go to bed. So everyone used to have to go to sleep at 8 p.m.
Why? That's weird.
So technically yesterday would have been the biggest law-breaking night in British history if that king was still alive, which thankfully he's not. So that's question number one. Question number two.
Okay. In England, the Queen is the only person allowed to kill a what?
So what's the Queen allowed to kill?
Allowed to kill. Like a...
Shoot, is it like the comparison in America is like maybe like a Thanksgiving like turkey or something? Like is it a pheasant? Is it a thing that they would eat? Is that what the Queen?
Like a deer?
Think about a more bougie pheasant. A bougie pheasant.
Like a...
More bougie pheasant, like a
Let's stay birds. Let's stay
like
bird.
a quail or something, like a
No.
Peacock?
It's a famous ballet.
It's like
Swan.
queen. Wait, a queen is just allowed to kill a swan?
The Queen can kill a swan if she so chooses to.
Why would she want
Has
to?
she ever been really angry and gone out and just stabbed a swan?
But that's why it's beautiful. That's why it's beautiful, because she can, but she never does. It's magical.
Lizzie chooses peace every day.
Has any queen
That's what
ever
she
killed a
does.
Let's
swan?
just hope KFC never runs out. It's a good question. I think swan killing generally happens after 8 p.m. So fortunately, the first
we'd be
king
asleep.
stopped that from happening.
I feel like we
we wouldn't
kind of
know.
guessed that one. Like we kind of got there.
Okay, well we've got one more.
Okay.
One more for you.
I feel like you didn't, but we can all feel differently.
Yeah. Okay, last one here. In England, if you're at a concert or a gig and someone shouts "Oggy, Oggy, Oggy," what 3 words should you say in response?
Well, I feel like Finn, you would know this with playing shows there.
Oggy, oggy, oggy.
No?
I don't know this one. No.
It's Ollie, Ollie, Ollie.
Oh, Ollie, Ollie,
Ollie,
Ollie.
Is
Ollie,
that what they
Ollie.
shout back?
Or-
Come on,
or Oggy.
Phineas.
Ollie, Ollie, Ollie.
And then the crowd screams something back.
Oh, wait, this is a shame.
Come
this is
on.
a travesty.
Can I please
I don't
Google
know
it?
this.
This,
Sorry.
this
Okay.
truly is the...
You have performed in
the
this country
British
and you don't know
I-
this. This is
divide.
an absolute disgrace.
I also just sold out shows in London, like literally this morning. So I feel like I need to know what to do.
Yes, we've just saved
Hold
your
on,
life.
I'm going to look it up. Don't tell me.
Congratulations.
Ash,
Okay, you're running out of
congratulations on
time,
selling out
guys.
your shows. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, Ash, I tell you this now.
What?
If you are at a concert and you hear the words either Oggy, Oggy, Oggy or Ollie, 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 the correct response from the crowd is Oi, Oi, Oi.
Let's show them. Ollie, Ollie, Ollie.
Oi, oi, oi.
There you go.
Okay, but why? You know, like why?
It's just like a sign of British
But did
camaraderie.
it come
yes.
from like? Is there an origin? Is there like did a king who killed a swan do it first?
There's no rhythm, there's no rhyme. It's just the beauty of British culture. Okay, well, I think it's safe to say that we won't be seeing you until the Brits 2030.
I feel like we got the swan one.
We'll see if we can pull some strings.
You got the.
Yeah, you did get
Yeah.
the swan one, and that's all that counts. You know about the Queen's the Queen's most intimate habits. So, Ash and Phineas, your song "Till Forever Falls Apart." Everyone in the comments seems to think that you are controlling the sky because it is the most beautiful and perfect artistic sky.
Yeah.
Somehow shot in one shot. What is going on there? Did you just have to wait until the perfect day arrived to shoot the video?
Well, if it would have been up to me, which thank God it wasn't, it wouldn't have been that beautiful purple sky because like the dance we learned, we didn't actually do together until the day we shot the video. And so we basically just did the dance the whole day and had a bunch of different takes. And I wanted to cut like the whole video from a bunch of the best takes. And then when we were like, all right, we got the video, Phineas was like, let's get the one take now. And I was like, no, but the sky was too beautiful. And I was like, when am I ever going to get to dance with my friend again? Like a choreographed dance. So I said yes. And then that ended up being the video. Thank God for you, Finneas. I think you kind of saved the day there.
It looks incredible.
It was beautiful.
One shot as well. Phineas, were you feeling the pressure to get it right in that one take?
Yeah.
You know, when you did that one continuous take?
Yeah, I mean, we were also like, we were very warmed up. Well, you know what? I probably was I bet, Ash, you and I were like not feeling that much pressure, which is probably why it was good, because we had filmed tons and tons of shots earlier. So we were like, let's just do this for fun. And that's probably why
just in case.
It turned out really well, because we were not putting that pressure on ourselves. But
Yeah.
I'm not a good dancer. So doing many takes doesn't like cutting a video together with angles of like our feet and shots of like a close up of our hands. It doesn't make me a better dancer. It just makes you go like, wow, he's really not good. And so doing
it makes it more clear.
It makes it more clear. So doing the one take, I was like, listen, look at how
keep it on a
look
wide.
at how hard we're trying. Check it out. Look at how hard we're trying.
It was charming. It was like
Yes.
more, it wasn't a video about like, look how good they can dance. It was like, look how much they love each other. And it was charming, you know?
Thanks, Ash.
Yeah,
I
free.
totally agree.
I felt freedom when I watched that.
Yeah.
Like they are free in this moment. How annoyed would you have been if you did the dance perfectly in that one take, only for the cameraman to mess up?
It happened. It
Would've been
literally
terrible.
happens. We shot something else
Yeah.
recently. I can't remember what it was for, Finn, but so, like we started getting a take and then the audio guy, like it cut out and he's like, sorry. And we're like, we were probably on like our 15th take and we're like, please. Once in a while that happens, but.
Yep.
Now, Clara, I've got to ask you a question here, and it's kind of personal to me as well.
Go on.
Your star has been rising and rising, and it's actually come off, a lot of it has come off the back of you speaking from a very honest place about the injustices you faced, we've faced, and things that we go through. What is that feeling like? Because I can only speak for myself. When I started to speak out on certain injustices, I actually thought, oh, my career is over now. I was sure it was heading in that way. And so how does it feel to, it's almost be finally recognized off the back of just sharing your experiences and your pain?
I've just been doing me. You know, that's what I've always done. It's, you know, I mean, not to say that I'm an artist, because I'm really not, but I think, you know, any kind of public facing job you do, I think the hardest thing to do sometimes is to fight to stay being yourself. Yes. Because there's always going to be people in your ear saying, maybe you shouldn't say this, or you should try doing it like this, or don't say that because you've got to protect this. And you know, I think I've just grown to a place where I'm just like, well, what's the point? I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and like, you're either going to receive it or you're not.
I've always looked up to what you do and the professionalism with which you do it. I felt like I've had new eyes on me since I've started speaking out, and it's just a weird feeling. Because it's the complete opposite of what I expected. I expected to be almost shunned.
That's a shame. Yeah.
I hear that. I think, look, it's, look, I mean, to quote my spiritual mother, Oprah, you got to stand in your truth so nobody can use it against you. That's whether you make art,
Love it.
You know, as human being in conversations about injustice. Like, you have to, you know? And
Absolutely.
It's like, I think the conversations that we've been having over the past year, they should have, I mean, well, it's not that they should have started years ago. Like, people have been trying to have them. It's just
Balloon.
the onus on who's listening and what they should be doing with that information. That's been the shift, and there's still a lot of work to do. So, you know, let's see.
There's a one burning question we have to ask before we go. Phineas, heard on an interview with you and Jimmy Kimmel that you carry around something to record sounds around the world. Been to Australia, recorded like a sort of a crossing, which actually makes it into the songs, a dentist drill. We were just wondering if there are any sounds that you'd heard here in Britain that might one day make it into a song.
Yeah, actually, I have a ton of... Here, I'm literally going to scroll to it right now.
Okay.
When I first came to London...
Nothing straight from the source.
It's like the first time I was in London in my life in 2017 in the summer. BIllie and I came over, and I brought a little mobile microphone and recorded so many sort of sounds. I like my favorite type of sounds are like just sort of like sounds of the world, if that makes any sense. Like just sort of like crowded streets and a park and the sound of the ocean and stuff like that. Because I think that stuff sounds so beautiful beneath a song. Okay, Euro trip. I've got, let's see. So this is my whole trip through Europe that summer too. So it's like stuff in Amsterdam. But if I go back to the
Is that where you
part
got,
of it,
you put something in Paris in Moral of the Story. You put like a Paris cafe.
yeah, I did. I put a cafe in France under the Moral of the Story instead of Vinyl Crackle. I have bugs in Hyde Park. I have
No way.
more bugs in Hyde Park. I have a file titled all caps very British people. I have
Oh God.
Queen killing swan.
I have one called The Night London. I have one it says outside the Borough Barista, which I loved. We stayed in Marble Arch and I went to the Borough Barista every day. I have one inside of Deliciously Ella, which is like a vegan cafe I love.
Oh, we know that spot.
So I've got sirens, because your sirens are all different. London street ambience, more London street ambience. Let's see, what did I get at the end?
London Zoom audio.
You are committed to
The
this
very
craft.
British
love it.
people one, I have to know what.
I need to hear that.
Maybe I'll send it to you guys for use.
Yeah.
Only seems fair.
I just love the thought, Phineas, of one day listening to a song and being like, I swear I've heard that bug in Hyde Park before. Nah, it can't be. That is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, it's been a pleasure having all of you. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And it's super early where you guys are, Ash and Phineas. Clara, thanks for bearing with us with the Wi-Fi.
Yes.
I'm glad we all got to experience the Brits in some shape and form.
Yes.
And fingers crossed, we'll all be in a box together next
Yes.
year, chatting away, being secretly recorded by
Yes.
Phineas for the next album.
Yeah, and you know what that audio file would be called?
What would it be called?
More very British people.
Legendary.
All right.
That's cute.
More very British people featuring Ash.
It's a hit.
Okay, well, big thank you to Ash, Phineas and Clara. I've been Munya.
I've been Sideman.
And that was the Brits Top Table podcast with Mastercard.
Boom.